Welcome to Morningstar. I'm Holly Black. With me is Andrew Ness. He's manager of the Templeton Emerging Markets Investment Trust. Hello.
Hello, and good afternoon, Holly.
So, do you want to just tell us briefly what the trust does?
Sure. So Templeton Emerging Markets Investment Trust, to give it its full title, we call it Temit. That's easier. It's the largest listed emerging markets investment trust in the UK. We've got assets just over 2.2 billion sterling. It's also one of the oldest emerging market funds in the marketplace, and we celebrated its 30th anniversary in July last year. And the purpose of Temit is to capture the long-term growth potential of emerging markets.
So, this year has been a bit of a crazy one for emerging markets. On the one hand, you've got China, which was first in and first out of lockdown and is now soaring. But you have countries like Brazil really still struggling to get to grips with the COVID pandemic. How are you handling that within the trust?
Funny thing is, you mentioned China's performance. So China, the source of the crisis, has held up much better than many other parts of the world. It's certainly escaped the worst of the selling throughout March. And if we look year to date, it's comfortably outperforming most of the other emerging markets. I think one of the reasons why China was able to do that was that it was able to flatten the infection curve much quicker. And if you cast your mind back, Holly, to, at the time, at the start of the year, what was going on in China, I think all of us were looking at the measures being undertaken by the authorities and thinking, that looks pretty drastic and draconian. But with hindsight, it now very much becomes the standard playbook on how you should address and tackle the virus. And the problem that we're seeing in other countries, both developing and developed, is that there's less ability by the policymakers to impose the sort of strict lockdowns that were so successful in the likes of China and other parts of North Asia.
So, coronavirus aside, what are some of the main themes in the portfolio at the moment?
Yeah, I think, like yourself, no doubt, you're having conversations how COVID will change the world. But I think our expectation is that a lot will probably be less different than people expect. You put it in the context of our emerging market strategy. We still think many of the themes that we've been investing in for some time now, they'll remain very relevant in the post-COVID world. And I think some of them will indeed be accelerated as a direct result of the pandemic. So if you take technology as an example, it's been a big theme in Temit over recent years, and it remains so today. It's very much enabling the reshaping of the global economy. And if you look at our strategy, if you look at Temit today, it gives you all those trends and all those exposures, but they're emerging markets equivalent. Now, whether that's through our e-commerce investments in the likes of China, in Korea and Russia and Taiwan, it's our food delivery exposure in a wide range of markets. We've got exposure to China's leading video streaming and music platforms, effectively their equivalent of Netflix and Spotify, and also the country's equivalent of Zoom. And that's connecting friends, families, and colleagues in very much the same way that we're connecting here today. Elsewhere, we continue to have significant exposure to the emerging market consumer. I think that remains a multi-year growth opportunity for investors. And the fund there's two ways we can play that. Temit's got exposure to both the under-penetration of a wide range of goods and services that can, credit cards in Peru to personal care products in India, to give a couple of examples. But also, we've got the exposure to the upgrading or the premiumization of consumption, where emerging market consumers, they've emerged very much in countries like China, in Korea, Russia and Brazil. And these consumers, they're keen to upgrade the quality of the goods and services that they consume as their wealth levels have risen. And then finally, the last theme I'll mention is one of stewardship. We're very much active investors. We engage with our investee companies. We're looking to improve returns for our clients and also seek better outcomes for other stakeholders. And what we're seeing in emerging markets over recent years is a significant improvement in corporate governance. That's across a wide range of emerging economies. We're seeing improved capital discipline, better reporting, a greater alignment with minority investors. And all of that ultimately leads, we think, to a potential re-rating of many markets. And we don't think that those trends are going to be negatively impacted by COVID, especially.
Andrew, thank you so much for your time. For Morningstar, I'm Holly Black.